Okay, so today what I'm going to be breaking down is what I define as a break of structure and how I utilize Williams fractals to see that. And I need to be very specific. This is only applied on the 1 hour. Yes, I have the fractals on all the time frames, but that's just for me to see swing points. Swing points usually work as liquidity areas. Simple as that. So then, but then now um when I utilize the BOS, I utilize that on the 1 hour. And what I want to take you through right here is, so let's take it from the top. It's always important to do what? Mark up your chart. Any areas of support or resistance or old highs or old lows, supply and demand zones, order blocks, fair value gaps, you want to highlight that so that when price returns to that area, you know what to anticipate. It's either price is going to slide through like butter, or it's going to find some kind of support, or it's going to have some kind of resistance, and then therefore giving you your setup. Okay, I don't know why I can't see that. Here we go. So I hope I've explained that. So now what I'm going to be showing you is various examples of a BOS, of a break of structure. Very simple, very straightforward. So we're going to start here and then we're going to build it up. We'll start right here. That will be our first example. So let's say that we are waiting for price to bounce on a higher time frame. What is a higher time frame? Daily, weekly, or monthly. Anything below that is a lower time frame. So once we have that bounce, or once we are at a certain higher time frame, what am I anticipating next? Well, I then drop down to my 1 hour, and on my 1 hour, as soon as price taps in, I am waiting for what? A break of structure. And what is a break of structure? In the most simplest way, this is a break of structure. That means we have a high, we have a low, and then we have a higher high. Simple. But then, obviously, on the charts, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated, because then sometimes we could have this. Would this be a break of structure? No, because why? We have not taken out the whole structure. This is a structure. When price is doing all these things that it's doing and it's printing, it is creating a structure. Only when it does this would it be a break of structure. So let's go to exhibit A. So price has come down. It has created a high. It has tapped into what? A higher time frame. So what will we be waiting for? If price continues, as you see, it creates a swing point over here. Is this a break of structure now? No, just because we've closed over here, because why? That is not the high we left before creating the low. We have to take out, remember, if we are bullish, once we create the high and then we tap into what? Our higher time frame, we have to clear out that high, and very specific, we need to do what? Close above that high for it to become a what? A BOS. There, giving us a what? A zone. Boom, boom. As simple as that. And then, little detail. If that zone has a fair value gap before the 30, then what do? We highlight the fair value gap, and what? The fair value gap will take precedent over the 30 zone. Because why? Price has, or price can react here rather than coming down all the way. Don't ask me why. Price just does that. I could give you some tall tale, but sometimes it will go through, but most of the time, and since we are trading, there is no 100%. There is just most of the time price is going to act like this. So we predict it and then we anticipate. Then I'm going to move on to something else here. So I'll show you another example using a higher time frame support and waiting for what? Waiting for a BOS. So we'll highlight this area here, which Art Mark has an order block, supply zone, demand zone, whatever you want to call it. And then again, price has to come to my zone, higher time frame. Here's our high, here's our low. We create a short-term high, short-term low. Is this a break of structure? Hell no. Price keeps on printing. Prints, prints, finally closes where? Above this area here. This is why I like the fractals, because it's very easy for me to see. I don't even need to do all this. You know, I'm just doing this here to illustrate for you, to take you through it baby steps. Once we close above this area, that then becomes our zone. Just like this. And then, see what happens here? We have a what? A fair value gap. What does that mean? The fair value gap is going to take precedent over the 30 zone. And let me just show you wondering what I'm using. This is a fib, and I've switched everything off. This is the way that Dave does it too, if I'm not mistaken. I got these from him a long time ago and I've never changed it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Moving on. So I'll show you another example of a what? A BOS. Let's see if we have one. So okay, right here we have another area of when price came back to the OB. So if I had to drop that like that, so then price comes down the first time. Does it close over here, creating a BOS? No. So would this given us some kind of setup over here? No. I would have waited. Price comes back to that zone. Anytime it comes back to that zone, it's starting again. It's rebuilding. Don't make it any technical. Anytime it comes back to that zone where you're anticipating to see a BOS, if it's a higher time frame zone, you are starting the setup again, rebuilding it. That means you're not going to wait now for price to go all the way there. If it's coming here, that means you want to wait for price to what? Close all the way here. Price does close eventually right there. And then what have I been saying? If there is a fair value gap, boom, it's going to take precedent over the 30 and the 50 and the 70 zone. Because why? Price is going to find support much earlier on instead of needing to work its way down here, these zones here, and do its thing. Will this work all the time? Hell no. This is trading. Will it work most of the time? Yes. Okay. Then I've given you 3 examples here